trying to make your life miserable, well, they don't mean anything to you at the end of the day. Those that cause trouble in your life, all you can do is say goodbye to them and just move on. What I'll probably do. In fact, what I actually did when I left college, I left all the bad people I didn't like and left that part of me, left all behind, and not think about it anymore, because I wasn't happy at college. I wasn't particularly cheerful. I constantly still for a while, but I guarantee it, just before I left college, just before I left college, I left in 2015, the end of 2015, just after my basically the first year of my YouTube channel. I started with iTrains Class 87 reviews when I just left college that year. Wow, can't believe it was so long ago. And then a year later we got some paperwork through, or I went up to Dutchy College and get the paperwork, and they just rung up and said, do you want the paperwork still, or do you want to get rid of them? To be honest, I was quite happy to left it. It didn't mean much in the end. It was just all wishy-washy stuff. It wasn't much, it was holding much value. So, yeah, it is what it was. And for me now, it's just time to move on and not worry about that sort of stuff anymore, because I'm a different person. I do different things in my life now, and I've gone from leaving college feeling a lot more happier. Obviously my confidence is still growing. Trusting people hasn't really grown massively. But yeah, that's what happened to college to me. That's to not have trust in people anymore. It's just kind of wrecked the whole experience of that. But I thought sharing this little bit with you, because I think when you're going out to the real world, working or doing volunteers for someone, they might not be nice people, but I do volunteer for with someone at the moment with Heather. She's a lovely lady, but if you don't have a nice person when you're first going there to doing voluntary, and all they do is try and turn you away from it, you know when you're not wanted. That's a simple way to look at it. You know, it's a shame in a lot of ways, because it means they're not going to get what they want. All they're going to do is just turn people away, because potential things will come in from it, like work for the new people, and then they get paid for it. You don't get much paid for most workplaces now. But what we are doing now, I should start yammering on, because 44 minutes already, so we should hopefully be ready finish by 11:30 at the earliest. So between 11 o'clock, it should be around 11 to 11:30, it should be ready by a long way, hopefully. Assuming there's not anything else happens between now and then. And just unconnect the trains, because they're not really needed at the moment. So mine will be moved as well, so that's why I'm going to move her first, because the soldering is quite heavy. It's a proper business soldering iron, because it's very heavy, very chunky. And it does a reasonable amount of stuff for you, what it does. It does quite well for what it is. And obviously in this area where I'm just about doing work around this area, I've got to glue down the right around to this section of here where the fencing is, and I've got to put a spot of glue just down there to connect to it. Again, personal advice for hot glue guns or soldering irons, please be careful. Okay, I had my skin removed from these things. These are a few times since I had them, or probably several times. Since I had experience from them from school, college, and obviously other places over the years. I just not had the best experience with some of these things. And obviously, yeah, of course, before I all did this before, well, most of this lifetime and, well, most of this life through 2020 or before, it was all different. This year was just different in weird ways for the virus and everything else. So I let it settle in, and then once the fences started to settle in, we can start to work on the hillside between the actual yard and the area for the loco. Well, between the lines and the actual fiddly yard for the cars, buses, trucks, things like that. And I do own a few trucks myself, but just trying to hold them in place at the moment, just to let the glue gun settle in. I can re-glue it later on, but I've got a solid iron right next to me, but it doesn't get hot unless you're pressing the button while you're holding it, which is pretty good in that way, because the idea of touching it when it's really hot is a great way to lose your skin again. So don't do that unless you're asking for trouble. I'm trying to learn from some of my mistakes. Most of my mistakes are not always worth looking back on, because sometimes they weren't the best to look back on in the first place. But other times, sometimes, yeah. It's all dependent on those past problems that make the present make a lot more, well, saves their money. But seeing the telephone box, I'm not going to worry too much where it is, because obviously in time that's going to change, because obviously we're going to have some trees over the back here, and we're obviously going to have some trees going down the yard. And not all the way across the yard, it's just going to be in sections down there. But yeah, there's going to be some quite a differences, because yeah, it works with it all. But yeah. So, next bit I'm going to do now is find out other bit of dodgy fencing I'm going to put in, and put it over the back of here. And or if we can't find it, we'll have to chop a bit off and put it on as part of the scrap yard or something, because that'll be quite handy. Right, we've got some of the fiddly ones back in, and we've got the iffy one still yet to work with. I've got an idea for the fiddly one, the dodgy bit of the fencing, which will be used for something else, which I'm looking forward to using actually. Because it's this bit here in the hand, this is the dodgy bit. And then we've got a little random bit of wire from the fencing for maybe a telegraph pole or something. So that'd be pretty cool. So we're going to actually use that for that. So yeah, there's going to be a variety of different bits going on right around this yard, right around here. I think it'd be quite cool to actually get some bigger videos, and that means we can share a lot more. I could share a lot more different points of my railway, and was the back reason for all the stuff. But I'm going to have to get my stuff out of the car as well, because I've still got a bunch of wood chips that have sit in the car, which I haven't taken out when I last went out to doing a video, and I was trying to get some wood chips. Being the time of year and everything, I thought it'd be a good time to get everything, but obviously I just forgot to take stuff out of the car again. Something about that. Something over here. That's over there. I've got a bit more fencing to do around here. Got some tidying up to do around this area as well. So I'm going to sit down and I'll bring the camera in, a little closer one, and show you what I'm doing. So, well, I can show you actually, I can unplug it for bits of it to show you what I'm going to be doing. Which what I might well do in between videos. 1 minute, so we've got plenty of time. Right, we're working with this section here at the moment for the yard. I haven't got the cars in there yet, but I can see I just started doing a bit of fencing around here, around near the stones and the trees over here. The yard is joined up at the moment right there. Goes all the way down there into the actual yard itself. Again, it's just again, it's all to do with this section here where the point is, because obviously the first one is down here near the soil line, and you've got the second one there, and then the third one up there to where the 060 is, and the Flying Scotsman and a couple of wagons and the Pullman coaches at the back there, and we've got another track piece there, and then we've got another one off to the side there, which you can't really see because it's high on the hillside. But the idea is what I'm going to be doing with this yard. There'll be another section where that straight piece will come out, and there'll be another point going in there. And obviously this, where the trees are at the moment, will be pushed back a little bit, so we can have another little bit of yard, just where the stones are sort of going in a little bit, but not too much in. And then maybe a little one next to the big one, next to where the DMUs will sit. So there will be a little bit of changing, but not too much, hopefully, because it does take a lot of hours and work to put all this in. So yeah, there's going to be a bunch of different points going to be put in. I've got the signal points here. Well, I'll put the signal box here so you guys can see what I'm doing. And that way you can watch me what I'm doing. So, just an idea. Just then the bus is broken down. You got them in pieces like the driving column and the shell. Obviously the wheels are just gone out of existence, it seems. And the ones that are looking pretty tatty, and I've got a few cars that are looking like that. And I've got a few actually off camera, off shot. I'll show you what I mean, because I'm not the only one who owns. I've still got fencing, not a lot of it, but enough hopefully to last. Parts of the layout which where I need them the most, so hopefully that will last. If not, I can get some more at the end as well. They don't cost me a lot, it's like £9 for a new set. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff. So I've got a couple of old doing a variety of cars and trucks and all sorts of it. Same with trains. I'm going to put a little small train depot into where the old trains used to be. So the old bodies are just going fixing up and things like that. How much cars do I own? A lot. A lot of toy cars, literally. From basic toy cars from the old batteries from the Thunderbird series I used to have when I was a kid. Some very old Mercedes, some very old police cars, some very old, some sort of state car, and some very old random black cars and green cars and such and such. I'm going to have to come back to that one. I'm hoping my body doesn't decide to use the toilet halfway through again. Suck. Really will. So, as you can see where the bus is, this is basically just one bus for this area. And we've got a bunch of old cars here, which most of them, to be fair, are in good shape. None of them are though. Which one is the worst one for this? Well, we've got the B&W, really old B&W. Don't worry, this car is out of order, but obviously some old cars are still working really well. But so they're saying like this old gold car, which I own and I had since I had it when we used to live in Cambridge, which it looks like in the best, not in the best condition anymore. So it's got one more year before that goes out of service, so it can be patched up and tidied. And for me, I'll probably use some sort of paint